Fragrant spices, aromatic long-grain rice laid with meat and slow-cooked in a pot with lots of patience is what makes a quintessential biryani. But in India, the world-famous biryani has been labelled as anti-national and has been facing the wrath of far-right Hindu nationalist leaders for quite some time.
बिरयानी खिलाने का काम अरविंद केजरीवाल ही कर सकते हैं।
जो उसके हमारे डिप्टी सीएम मनीष सिसोदिया जी, ये सारा पैसा उन्हीं की जेब में जाता है और वो वहाँ पे शाहीन बाग में इन्हीं पैसों से बिरयानी पहुँचाते हैं।
कैसे 500 रुपए लेकर के वो आंदोलन में आकर के बैठे हुए हैं, बिरयानी मिल रही है उसके लिए बैठे हुए।
But what has biryani got to do with politics? To understand this, let's rewind a bit. For months now, tens of thousands of Indian farmers have been camping on the outskirts of the country's capital, protesting against the Modi government's agriculture reforms which they say threaten their livelihoods. Despite a cold wave taking over Delhi, the farmers are continuing to dig in for what has been dubbed the single largest protest in the history of India.
ठंड जितनी मर्जी बढ़ जाए, हम ठंड से डरने वाले नहीं, हम मोदी से डरने वाले नहीं, हम यहीं बैठे रहेंगे जब तक ये हमारा संघर्ष जारी रहेगा, जब तक ये मोदी कानूनों को वापस नहीं करता।
Now, help is pouring in from their community as well as several aid agencies. Their aim is to make sure that food, clothing and shelter are taken care of for the protesting farmers. That has hit a sore spot for many, and the food is now being weaponized and used as a tool to spread fake news against those protesting policies of the government. In November, a video of the protesting farmers being served food was tweeted. The tweet read, "Biryani time at Ghazipur farmers' protest spot." The video went viral and people began ranting against biryani and the protesters. While some claimed that they were being bribed with biryani to dissent, others drew parallels to Delhi's Shaheen Bagh protests in 2019 that were termed anti-national and during which biryani was used as a war crime. The biryani tweets caused a stir on social media, with many questioning the logic behind them. It's believed that biryani has its roots in Persia and was introduced to India by Mughal rulers centuries ago. An authentic biryani is essentially made from goat, chicken or lamb, but in certain parts of the country, it is also made from the cheapest meat available, buffalo meat, which is widely consumed by Muslims, Christians, and so-called lower class or Dalits. But for many Hindus, meat is a big no. So for them, a vegetarian version of biryani is available. Many prefer to call that pulav, which is altogether a different debate. Biryani enjoys widespread popularity in India. In 2019, it was the most ordered dish on Swiggy, an online food delivery platform. On average, Indians ordered 95 biryanis per minute, or 1.6 biryanis every second. It was also the most searched Indian food on the internet globally in 2019. Despite being relished by all, biryani has somehow become synonymous with only one religion. Experts say that Hindu supremacist groups are actively seeking to make biryani a signifying cuss word in reference to Muslims. If 2019 was the year of glory for biryani, it was also the time when it was used as a political slur in the country. In December 2019, millions were out on the streets protesting against the Modi government's controversial new citizenship law that discriminated against Muslims. Shaheen Bagh, a Muslim-majority neighborhood, became a symbol of resistance. But allegations were made that protesters were being bribed with a plate full of biryani to oppose the government's policies. Local elections in the country's capital were just around the corner. Several BJP leaders waged a war against biryani to discredit the anti-CAA protests and garner the support of a Hindu nationalist voter bank.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार चाहिए या दिल्ली के अंदर शाहीन बाग की बिरयानी खाने वाले लोगों को खिलाने वाले लोगों की सरकार चाहिए?
According to Carol Helstowski, an associate professor of history at the University of Denver, food is a marker of identity, be that ethnic, religious, socioeconomic, or personal. So humans might be particularly sensitive when that part of their identity is challenged or questioned. And in India, food has often been used to play identity politics, stoke communal tensions, and otherwise, the consequences of which can be deadly. In 2015, a Muslim man was lynched on the mere suspicion of possessing beef because Hindus deem cows sacred. In March 2020, fake news began making rounds on social media, claiming that a restaurant in Coimbatore was serving biryani to Hindus laced with tablets to make them impotent. So, when protesting farmers were served biryani, the protests were quickly dubbed as Shaheen Bagh 2.0. Several rounds of negotiation between the farmers and the federal government to end the deadlock have failed so far. The protests have rattled the authorities, and farmers seem to be prepared for the long haul. Makeshift community kitchens or langars have sprung up at various points on the highway where food is cooked and served free to all. Every day, volunteers cook to make sure that the protesting farmers are well fed. But in December, when a group of 5 students who did not have time to set up a regular langar opened up a pizza langar, it ruffled feathers. Almost 400 pizzas were distributed among the protesting farmers and nearby residents. The pizza langar soon became a hot topic on social media, with many outraged over the lavish meals protesters were having. Again, there were insinuations that the pizzas were a form of bribery. Some questioned whether the farmers were there to protest or picnic. But many took a jab at those who tried to discredit the protests, change the narrative, and ridicule the poor farmers for having pizza. So, while some continue to play divide and rule by politicizing food, biryani has once again topped the list as the most popular dish of 2020. It was ordered more than once every second. And for many Indians, their love for biryani remains unflinching.